People, we are back for more FPL recaps. This is the start of week 4, and yeah, sorry I took a little break. I'm on my Pokemon hiatus at the moment. I've loved every minute of playing Breath of the Wild and watching Dragon Ball Z, been having a good time. But I'm here on a Saturday. I'm gonna try to bulk record these actually, just to have that out of the way because then even after this, I've still got like a Nuzlocke to edit and then like my Orlando Regionals vid to do, but I'm gonna try to do these at the very least. And yeah, let's get into it. So I'm gonna start off with an OU with Will versus Hylian. Both very respectable players. With very strong teams here, we both got the core. We've actually got a Blastoise. This is OU, like OU. Not even Nat Dex or anything like that. They got a Blastoise over there, which is kind of crazy. I think Mega Blastoise is banned Nat Dex because of I don't know how it works. I think that's what I remember. But was that last gen? No. Either way, they also got a Gouging Fire. A lot of cool Mons on this side. A lot of cool Mons. Over here, we've got the Zamazenta, Cecil's Edge. A lot of cool Mons over here too. So let's get into it. So lead off with the HSAM versus the Enamorous over here, as they're going to go for a Moonblast and do a good chunk to this Slowking. Although based on that damage, I do remember being in this game live, and I'm pretty sure we calced that it was not Specs. So the whole game we were like, okay, we know one thing's for sure, it's not Specs. Go for a Steam Eruption, do 1,000,000 damage to this Gouging Fire on the Switch. We're like, yes, once we get rid of this Gouging Fire, we can do much better. So, Enamorous comes in, we're going to scout for the Scarf once again, actually go for Superpower, and confirm that they are indeed contrary. As now they're going to go out into the Corv. So the way they're playing it does make it seem like it's Scarf. They're going to switch out. We can pivot out here once again, get some regen in. The Enamorous comes back in one more time. See what this guy wants to go for. We might go for a U-turn here. They go for Moonblast. As go for Brave Bird, do a very considerable chunk there. Trying to shift this Enamorous down because it just keeps on coming in and doing damage. So now Corv comes in. We can scout for the Rocky Helmet. They are indeed Rocky Helmet. Now Volcanion is back in, baby, and they send in Gouging Fire one more time. We go for the Steam Eruption again, and look at that damage. Look at that damage. This thing is almost down. They go for the Breaking Swipe. We get an attack drop. So we go for Earth Power, and we're like, huh. That was solid. Stay with that Breaking Swipe set, so that thing is gone. That's incredible for us. Lando's going to be in versus the Fiona as they go for the Trailblaze here. And get some Rocky Helmet chip. Lando is going to pressure them out, though. Oops, a nice little free opportunity for some rocks. They're going to get defogged, but it does let us get our Corvin now. They don't even defog. They don't even defog. As Great Tusk comes in, it's like, okay, oh, they're going to Rapid Spin. Okay, if they Rapid Spin, they take chips. So this is a good chance to roost here if I've ever seen one. As Great Tusk can't really touch us. As, was that pads? They didn't take chip, right? I don't know where lefties, my bad. I thought I saw Rocky Helmet. I was mistaken. So they're gonna actually burn their Terra here on the Terra Water, which is great because now Blastoise can't do it. And Enamorous can't do it or anything like that. This, the Corv is a little bit of an issue though, but thankfully we do have this Terra Grass Lando with the Grass Knot doing 1,000,000% to this thing, is they're going to keep on setting up an Iron Defense. And then the Earth Power just takes them out. Beautiful. I think we spent a lot of time on that turn, and then for it just to end like that was crazy. So they're going to go for the Moonblast here. We get Slowking in, and this is the moment where we realize it's not Scarf. We're like, oh, okay. So they're going to switch out an Ogerpon here on the Future Sight. Take a good chunk from the Sludge Bomb. And we get the Poison, too. Good grief, that Future Sight should kill now. So Lando's going to come in, get the attack drop off. As they go for an Ivy Cudgel. Don't quite take us out. There's the future sight, and this Fiona is going down. Phil Swift is going to come in on the... It's not just die. We showed it already. But yeah, they go for the Moonblast here. As now H-Sam is going to come in, go for the flip turn, take this thing out. As Zamazenta is in versus the only thing that's left is the Blastoise. Go for a nice little CC. Bring him down to just 5% as they go for the last ditch effort Shell Smash. I do believe we have some priority on the H-Sam. As they missed the Hydro Pump, though. That really sucks, I'm not going to lie. It certainly would have killed with this Spinaftra. So we did get a little lucky in some instances, like with that Poison. I'm not sure if that got him in range of the feature side or not. And hitting our Steam Eruptions and stuff like that, they missed their Hydro. But, you know, it's Pokemon. It is what it is, you know. Alright, so now we have our U game with Shady versus Mayoraccotta. And I absolutely love this team. This takes me back to my XY days. Put a Mega Mawile over this thing until it got banned. But then we could use it in Oras, right? I think. Either way, I mean, this is absolutely the team that I would like to use. And then, of course, on the opposing side, we got a lot of cool threats like the Iron Moth and the Cornerstone, which are EU now. We got the classic Mandibuzz, but then we've also got some EU staples in this gen, like, well, I guess they're not staples because they probably just came out, but at this point, you know, Raikou, Metagross, Swampert. That being said, though, let's get into the game and see what happens. So, we're going to see the U-turn onto the Ogerpon, as now Tinkaton is going to come in, actually. And takes the Ivy Cudgel relatively well. Get some leftovers recovery. They're going to U-turn out. Send in Big Metagross onto the knockoff, so we get rid of an item. No lefties for this Metagross, which is fantastic. Probably going to exchange rocks here. Yep, there we go. As now, yep, continued leftovers recovery. Sending in the Mandibuzz, who is Boots. Can't encore that, but I would assume they're going to defog here. So get rid of this thing's Boots, which is incredible. So Tinkaton is absolutely putting in the work here as the support Pokemon. Getting rid of a third of their items over there. Ogerpon's going to come in now. These rocks are back up, so if they want to defog again, yeah, I mean, they're going to take... they do Encore. We do see the Encore Ogerpon, so I assume we're going to see an SD here, but SD U-turn? Is that a thing? I don't know. Oh, the U-turn onto the Latios. I think I remember saying that. In this game, this Latios did not do a lot, so we were going to sack off the Lati. Azumarill is going to come in on the Mandibuzz, who burns the Terra Steel, which is perfectly fine. They might resist rocks now, but they can't Terra the Iron Moth, they can't Terra the Raikou. This is a much more ideal situation. The Swampert is going to come in. We're going to go on the Torn, because we don't have a lot of switch-ins to EQ at the moment. But the Metagross is going to come in on a knockoff. Goes with Heat Wave, brings him down very low. Gets a burn, though, which does suck. But they do go for rocks on this turn. So, they do go for the Bullet Punch, which obviously would have done a lot more if they hadn't been burned. But we're going to get some regen here, which is great. Mamo's going to come in on the rocks. As Iron Moth comes in, this is a scary Pokemon with Cork Drive speed. But because of the Thick Fat, I believe that we can live the hit. I'm not sure if we're Thick Fat or not. No, sure, we're Thick Fat to live that. As Memo tanks it, we're able to get rid of the Iron Moth, which is fantastic. This Raikou could be dangerous, but at this point, we were looking at an Azumarill endgame. And I believe that Terra Water Aqua Jet to this thing does 60%. So, or maybe even 62, so we knew that it was in range. So we're going to Terra here. We're going to chip this Ogerpon, which is fantastic. So now this thing goes down. So that's one less switch in for them. As they still do have this Mandibuzz, which can obviously roost up. We're going to have to do a good chunk, though, just in case they want to do something else. Get this thing chipped. Now we send in Magnezone, which obviously Swampert is a scary Pokemon for. As I go for the T-Bolt on this thing. Because the Magnet Pull, I believe we're Magnet Pull, they can't switch, they have to U-turn out. Sends in Swampert. So again, this Swampert, do absolutely nothing to that thing. I believe that's Assault Vest, if I'm not mistaken. At least I think so. Or it could just be Smith. They're going to Volt Switch out here, continue to send it in the Swampert. We just need this thing chipped. Unfortunately, get the wrong play there on the go for the Volt Switch. Terra Blast here, as they are going to go for the Earthquake, take Magnezone out. It's okay, like we said, we want the Azumarill in game. At this point, we just spam Liquidation. And goodbye Swampert, there we go. So now it's just down to this Raikou and this Mandibuzz. So at this point, obviously, we have to switch out here. We send in Tinkaton, this Bidef monster. We're afraid of like a sub SD set or a sub common set, but they just keep on Volt Switching. I don't think it's Specs, I can't remember. It's plant like it's Specs, but I can't remember if they switched up moves or not. They go for the foul players. We now have rocks up, which is great. Obviously, they can defog, but that wastes a turn and also gets rid of our rocks. So we lock him into foul play here. So now I think we can send in the Azumarill. Oh, they switch out into Raikou. Oh, it's Boots. That's right. So it doesn't take any. I think this is where we found out that it's Boots. But either way, that's fine because that means that they. Well, they're not left. Well, we knew there weren't leftovers or specs or anything at this point, but that's great. Mandibuzz is going to come in, keep taking residual chip. If we can knock off the Boots on this Raikou at some point, then they're going to take hazards. So do we go for the knockoff here? Yep, there we go. So we catch it. This Raikou is dead. This Raikou is dead on switch in. So they have to stand and go for the T-Bolt. At this point, we can just Gigaton Hammer. And now all that's left is this Mandibuzz. So it is quite healthy, but they've used up 3 roosts. They only have 5 left. We have the Choice Band, Terra, Water, Azu. They can just keep on spamming. And so at this point, I think this is a slow, gradual endgame. We're just going to lock him in to the foul play. As, at some point, yeah, we just keep on spamming this until we die. And then, because the key thing is we don't want them to roost. But the thing is, once this Encore ends, we can just Encore them again. And then they can never roost. And then they'll be in range of a Choice Band. So yeah, so we're going to Encore them here. There we go. Slow, gradual endgame. But as you can see, we're dead to the next foul play. We just keep on damaging them. And then we can finally send in the Choice Band Azumarill. And then finally hit this thing with Liquidation. Down goes the Mandibuzz. GG's to Shady and Mayoraccotta. So, now we move on to my game. And I just have to preface this for my game. That, I don't know what was going on with me. I felt pretty good like the past 3 weeks of FPL. I was like, oh, I'm doing pretty solid, you know? But I hit a wall or something this week, man. I think everything that I've been doing with draft and with Nuzlocke and prepping for Orlando and FPL, I just got burned out, I gotta say. And I just hit a wall when it came to team building this team because I wanted to use Reggie Drago, but at what cost? And so I kind of went crazy building this team, I'm not gonna lie. I felt like that episode of SpongeBob where he forgot how to make Krabby Patties. But I'm feeling a lot better now. I'm on my hiatus. But just to preface that for why this team is what it is. Like my opponent even said, this is not the team I was expecting. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't expect this either. So we're going to send in Conk on this guy. Take a 1,000,000% from Ironhead. Right off the bat. Not looking too great for me. My Conkeldur's already super chipped. I'm going to go for the knockoff, get rid of this thing's Rocky Helmet. So Conkeldurr just keeps on taking chip, unfortunately. So it would have been a great breaker to ignore the Flame Body. So they're going to have some rocks here. They do have a switch in with Basket Legion. I actually go out into Bisharp. So I'm going to get up my spikes here. Switch out into Slowbro. Not going to lie, I'm not used to as used to RU this gen. So I was thinking that Bisharp doesn't have knockoff anymore, but of course it still has Throat Chop. And I was like, oh, I forgot about it. It's like Weavile and BDSP when it was forced to use Throat Chop. But yeah, I guess that's what happens whenever, I haven't been so used to draft, I haven't really been using this mon as much. Then again, I use Throat Chop too. And in draft when I had Bisharp, I think. Either way, for this game though, Slowbro is in, gonna go for the Future Sight. Supreme Overlord is taking some chip, which is beautiful. Because this Basket Leech could be a really big threat. This thing is gonna We're gonna go for the Spec Surf. Thankfully, though, I do have the leftovers, and the sand is gonna end pretty soon. I can go for Protect here, live the next hit. They're gonna send in Bisharp. Oh, I actually go for Hyper Voice here. I think it was a roll or something, because they're gonna send it in on a future site. So now, Bisharp is gonna come. I do have Brick Break on this set, so I can 1v1 this Bisharp, which is beautiful. I was a little bit afraid of the Moltres. I don't know if I tear it here or not. Okay, we didn't, so we just get lucky on the fact that we didn't get burned. Because I was Terrafire. I just didn't want to waste it. We do have a lot of hazards, but they are going to send in the Cyclizar at this point, who is not Boots, to Rapid Spin them away, unfortunately for me. But this just gives me another chance to Future Sight. They're going to U-turn out. If they want to send in Supreme Overlord, then they're going to have to risk the Future Sight. This is an opportunity for me to slack off here, send in Conk, sack it off at this point. Because I can beat Bisharp with my own Bisharp either way. So, take the Future Sight. As Conk is going to go down here. Come in with Bisharp once again. So I'm going to keep on going Moltres. I believe I get up my rocks here once again. And I wish that Bisharp had knockoff. Would have been so beautiful. Either way. I go for Flamethrower here. As keep hitting with me the Air Slash. I can Wish up and then Protect. I really want to go for this Regidrago endgame. Because I'm Scarf, so I can, as long as they're not Scarf Zapdos, then I can outspeed them and kill them. So they're going to go for the U-turn here. Send out Bisharp once again. As I keep on spamming Wish on this Sylveon. So Bisharp comes in. As they go for the T-Wave, which is actually pretty good, because now I can't get burned, and Bisharp is back to full. So, now that I can't get burned, I can send in the Slowbro, because every time they've gone Moltres, they just keep doing it. I'm going to U-turn out. We just keep on going through this cycle. I just need to keep on... The Supreme Overlord is slowly but surely taking chip. And that's the key that I need this thing to do. So I send out Bisharp because I think Sylveon is a little low. Yep, and I go for... Get the Defiant. I was hoping they would go for Shadow Ball there, and I can get a Defiant boost as they send out... Hippowdon on the Iron Head, do a bunch of damage. Doesn't even 2-hit KO, which is crazy. Oh, but with the Future Sight, let's go! So now they're forced to go for Slack Off here, which gives me the ability to send in Brambleghast for free. I can spike up if I want to. I can Rapid Spin. They're going to send in their own Cyclizar. So go for my own Rapid Spin. So this is pretty solid, but unfortunately, I don't think I can touch this thing. Because I think I have Poltergeist and Shadow Sneak, so they're going to go for a knockoff here. They keep on taking chip, though. Finally go for the Rapid Spin there. I can go for a Future Sight. Probably going to bait in the Bisharp once again. We keep going round and round and round. This is a long game. Already 32 turns. Good grief. I go for the Scald, though. This thing is very chipped. This thing is very low. I send out my own Bisharp. I know they don't have Brick Breaker. I'm pretty sure they don't have it. Because I haven't gone for it yet. Future Sight, they're immune to it. Send Slowbro back in on the Iron Head. So now they go for the Throat Chop. We know that we can live this next hit. We just need to... Oh, I was surprised maybe I should have gone for Skull, but maybe I thought something else would come in. This thing's paired. Let's send out this thing as I get up my rocks. And I go for Sucky here. Oh, this must be the end game because we realized that this thing is in fact not Scarf. So we're like, oh, well, let's just go out into our Regidrago. Because either way, it's going to come down to this thing's Terror or not. They are Terror Steel. I should have thought about that more and tried to get some chip off on this thing, but... And I was saying, I was like, what if this thing is bulk up? Maybe we should go for a Iron Head. And then, but no, they were in fact the bulk up set. But at this point now, because the Regidrago is so low, it's going to all come down to a Sylveon end game, basically. Their mons are all very chipped. And rocks are up at this point. So that's one good thing. We can at least still go for Draco Meteor because we're Scarf, which is great. Sylveon can come in here. They go for U-turn. As I feel like Zapdos should be pretty much dead to I could have also maybe if I was Terra Dragon, but no, Terra Dragon Energy wouldn't have killed this thing. But can now go into Slowbro on a Brave Bird. The thing is, we just need more We need more health. They're very low though, 8%. As now it's all coming down to the Sylveon versus the world here. Regidrago is going to be faster here, so we can drop a Draco. Hard pivot out into the Sylveon on the Basket Legion because that's what they're going to do. As now they're going to flip turn out. I have to start Calm Minding here in order to win this game though. And this Basket Legion's still alive, man. I was hoping to be dead by now, but go for the Wish Protect on the knockoff because yeah, they're going to want to get rid of my lefties, which is unfortunate, but it's the only way to try to start Calm Minding here. How do I Terra this entire game? I don't think I Terra. So I must be saving it. That's right, I think I was saving the Terra for the end. Because I believe I'm Terra Steel. So we're getting up our Spadef boost. They send out Hippowdon, which is going to unfortunately chip me with sand. We get a second Calm Mind boost though. I do get the Wish off now. I'm full. Go for the Hyper Voice, so Hippowdon is gone. So this is not looking too shabby here. They do send out the Moltres, who's going to Thunderous Kick me. As we knew that they were going to do that, so I needed to go for the Wish in order to 1v1 the rest of these guys. As I Terra Steel, expecting the Brave Bird. It was 50-50 there. If they went for Thunderous Kick, then I could have won. But you know, it is what it is. Now it's all going to come down to Scarf Dracos. Did I really need that Wish though? Maybe. I don't know. I was +2 Spadef. Maybe I should have just attacked him when I had the chance. But either way, the fact that I brought it this close with this team, well, that's mainly the support of my teammates. Because I'm gonna be honest, I was not feeling good this match. I couldn't think straight. I'm gonna be honest with you. With this team, I couldn't think. Building it, I couldn't think straight. Playing it, I couldn't think straight. But I'm glad we at least brought it very close with Regidrago. So, with that, we're now going to move on now to the UU game. We've got Grape versus Yuqi over there. As let's see what can happen here. Well, I guess I haven't said the team we're fighting is the Legion of Larry. Very good team from last season. I remember because I used them in multiple thumbnails in their coach's Hylian for the OU game. So we see the taunt as well as the Meteor Beam set with power. What? This is a crazy game. This is fun. I like this. So they have this attack boost now, so they do a bunch of damage to this Volbeat, who set up the Rain Dance for the Basket Legion now. I think I must have come in like late into this game, because I do remember something about a rain team this week. So we got the Basket Legion. Goes to the Terra Water. I guess it just keeps on spamming Wave Crash and it dies. Yeah, look at that. Look at the young Basket Legion over here. Crazy. Lycanroc is in. Obviously going to go for the... Oh, wow. The Terra Dark Sucker Punch. Not even the Accelerock. That's crazy. So they're going to send in Brute Bonnet now, who can tank all these hits. Oh, JK, CC. Life Orb Tough Claws. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, I use that in draft. This one's busted. So now they send in the Klefki on the CC, who is able to tank it this time. And send in Dragalge, actually. Huh. Goes for Sucker Punch. And finally take this thing out. This Lycanroc was doing way too much over there. I'm telling you, it's crazy. If that thing is allowed in you. So Torterra goes for the Shell Smash there. On the Sludge Wave, bada bing, bada boom. Dragalge takes it out. Adaptability Scrub. Let's go. They do have the Talonflame to take this thing out, but they only got 2 Mons left. As Volbeat's going to come in, they can set the Rain Dance one more time for this Kilowatt. They go for the SD, actually. Do they have Encore? Is this the Encore? Okay. They do have Thunder Wave, though. Ooh, but it misses. Crucial miss there, as they are now +2. But, oh wait, no, I think 386 versus 3, yeah. So they really need that para in order to outspeed this thing. But at least it's not +2 anymore. They forced a switch. This thing nasty plus, so that's very scary. They go for Foul Play. Don't do a whole lot here. As now Kilowatt was going to come in on the T-Bolt. It has Volt Absorb, so it's immune, but this thing might have Sludge Bomb or something else. Yeah, Sludge Wave just takes this thing out, man. It's crazy. As now Klefki's going to come in on the T-Bolt, and down goes the Klefki. So that's going to be that game. Let's get into the next one now. We have Dynamo versus FlipkLicky in Little Cup. Or here their name is Preschool Library. So we've got the Cyndaquil once again. This is very reminiscent. I feel like I've seen this tape before. I've seen this, except I think this time they have a Stunky. I'm telling you, these Little Cup games, they all run together. Kick McFlippy over there versus the Cyndaquil. Switch out immediately into the Volibee, as they're going to go for the knockoff there. As they go for Terra Rock on the Brave Bird to resist. Oof. As now they go for HJK and immediately take us out. Dang. Limit is going to come in now to hopefully get some hazards up, get up some toxic debris there. Although Marini and Stunky can easily absorb it. There's the beautiful rocks on the knockoff there. T-Spike's up once again on Mudshot. It's a very good chunk to this thing. As they go for Sucker. Get up 2 more layers, so all that they're forced to go Marini here to try and absorb them, and at least go Ghastly into this thing. So this thing is going to actually get poisoned badly on the Earth Power. So yeah, this thing forced him not to be able to go out into Marini. Gonna go for the Giga Drain there. Into the knockoff. Get rid of this thing as a Violet. Keeps on taking shit from poison. Goes for the Giga Drain now. Rapid Spin to be faster on the next turn, hopefully. And then knock him out with Earth Power. Yeah, without the Violet, that should kill it for sure. So now Marina's going to come in and absorb those pesky T-Spikes. Goes for the Earth Power, does a billion damage. Look at that. But the Surf is not quite enough to take, Toadschool's defensive monster. They do have a Trapinch, Snappy McStrappy, who is going to do 41 to take out this Toadschool with the first impression after locking him in. As now Mienfoo is going to come in here, go for the knock, get rid of this thing's Violet, goes for Earthquake. But the U-turn to take it out, which is great. So now they have the Cyndaquil. This thing is at almost half. Probably not enough to take it out though. Goes for the Surf. As Mienfoo is going to come in, Terra Rock. Ooh, the Will-O-Wisp is beautiful for this thing. So now with Mienfoo in, we're going to go for the knockoff. Get rid of this thing's a Violet. Although in a 1v1, I mean, this thing is burned, surely. Okay, now they take off that thing as a Violet, but it seems like they won the speed tie there. They win it this time as they go for the U-turn. Get some regen on that thing, sent in Ghastly. They make the right play. They go for knockoff into Ghastly. Yeah, man. And it's here with Mienfoo and Ghastly in almost every game, man. HJK is such a risky move. So McToasty over here is going to go for the Hex and take this guy out. But Cyndaquil should be looking a little bit better. But of course, they're going to sack off Stunky here and probably bring in Go Marini hard. Eruption is going to be doing a heck of a lot of damage, though. I won't even lie. They really need to knock this thing's a Violet off. They go for the Surf. This thing has already been knocked off, so that does a lot. Get rid of it, though. Down to 53 once again. Although now they've recovered. HJK does a decent chunk. But I don't know. I mean, they have to lock themselves into Eruption, and then there's no way that they kill this thing. Okay. Ooh, they have extra sensory. That's right for this thing, and that makes sense. But the Surf, it's just not going to be quite enough. So I don't know if you guys have been counting at this point, but let me see. So we won the OU game, right? That's 1 win for us. We won the U game. That's 2 wins for us. But then we lost RU, NU, and now Little Cup. So that's 3. So just keep that in mind. So now we have Shieldpoke versus... Okay, so now we have Shieldpoke versus MSR 198. And a Gliscor and a Tinglu, which is pretty cool. Typical Koraidon, Miraidon. They've got Iron Treads on their side. Okay. In a tier without hazard control, sometimes you use the Iron Treads. So, Kyogre is going to lead off first to this RC. He's going to immediately just go for a crit E-Speed. Good grief on the first turn. But we do land the para, which is cool, you know. But now, yeah, you know that you should live the next one. They actually stay in and try to just keep on E-Speeding. So, seeing that they're going to keep on E-Speeding, they're going to switch out here. As Necrozma goes to the knock, get rid of the Silk Scarf. They go for Taunt, actually. Okay. Get this thing a little chipped. This thing's Paris. It seems like they just want this Arceus to go down. We do get a Paris, so 2 pairs in a row, so kind of making up for that that crit first turn. As Shadow Claw comes off, does absolutely nothing to this thing. Go for the E-Speed just to get a little bit more chip. As Knockoff will finally take out the Arceus. So, we have the numbers advantage. The Taunt is gone, so we get up rocks if we have it. Although these guys are more like that ones. They go for Terrifier on this thing as they go for the Morning Sun here. So, being in the sun, if they were to get really low, they go for the Terrifier though. Low kick doesn't quite take out Necrozma. Sunsteel Strike is going to do absolutely nothing to this thing though. Now that they've Terrified. As a Scale Shot, ooh, this Koraidon is in an absolute prime position now. As Koraidon is going to come in. Oh, they're on a late choice scarf. If they were, they lost the speed tie. I'm telling you, man, this Koraidon is insane. Scale Shot, man, what a move. They go for Protect to try to stall out the Sun turns to not give them that boost anymore. Although they are still Terrifier +2, but that's enough to force them to switch out. Send in Ho-Oh onto the Brave Bird now. As go for the poison on this Ho-Oh. Gets a nice poison and you keep on protecting, stall this thing. I think I'm gonna get some regen. Send in Kyogre. As we send in the Miraidon. So Miraidon's not looking too bad. They do have an Iron Treads. They can wall this thing though, in all respects. But even then, you know, if you hit enough Dracos, this thing is going to go down. So they've used up their Cork Drive here. Tinglu should be able to V1 this thing easily and open the way up for Miraidon. So Ho is going to come in now on the EQ. Keep on accidentally clicking right click. Brave Bird into the Tinglu is absolutely nothing. As they put some spikes. Although they don't have leftovers, so this Tinglu has no way to recover now. So they're going to keep on spamming it. Tinglu's getting low. Although so is this Ho-Oh. As now they send in Miraidon to keep the Tinglu for later. Oof, on the Earthquake though is rough. Very rough. Miraidon being this low. So now Ho-Oh finally goes down. Iron Treads is going to come in. They can go for Rapid Spin. Oh, because the electric terrain now. Oh, the electric terrain was up before, my bad. I might have said they were a booster. I just completely ignored the fact that terrain was up. So they go for Earthquake and they finally take out this pesky Iron Treads. Maybe they thought they would switch out, fearing the Ice Spinner, but they stayed in. As Miraidon's looking pretty good now, other than the fact that it's very low. Goes for the more HP, more power Water Spout. It's very scary. If this thing is Scarf, it might just clean up. So they send in Kyogre because they have to be able to live this hit on 1%. As they go for T-Wave. Excellent. So now they can outspeed them with Miraidon. Go for the Thunder. Get this thing nice and chipped. Goes to the Water Spout. So Miraidon's not looking too bad at this point. At least, I guess they just have to win a speed tie twice. Go for the Electro Drift here. Yep. Bada bing, bada boom, take him out. Although Flutter should be able to live the hit though, if I'm going to be honest. So it might just be over because I think Flutter should just knock out the Gliscor. So Gliscor is going to come in. You can protect to at least live this hit as well as you can. But then I don't think there's any way that EQ 2 Okos, and then Moonblast is definitely going to 2 KO. They don't get the crit. So yeah, it's going to be our 4th loss here. Things are looking a little bit rough for the Spheal Aficionados here. As go for the Protect there, as they go for Moonblast. Continue to get some Poison Heal. Go for protect one more time. We get a lot of protection. Yeah. How many turns is this going on? Good grief. So they finally fail. As how many turns have? So we got 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3. I mean, that's still pretty. The triple protect there. Not every day that you see that. What is that like a? I guess it's only a 25% chance, right? Because it's 50 than 25. No, it's 1 over X, right? So it's 33% chance. But you have to do a 50 into a 33 is the thing. So with that, we are now going to move on. So at this point, we have to win every single game. Last 3 games in order to win this week. We're going to go into Nat decks with Lindomar, the Warrior of Liberation here versus Sandy Simis. We've got a Mega Pinsir over, which is nice to see. We've got much more standard Gen 9. Of course, they got a lot of Gen 9 too. The Darkrai over there. Look at that. Urshifu's going to come in versus this the Tortellini. Take a good chunk from the body press, unfortunately. And Ninetales is going to come in to try to get up the Veil, maybe. Look at that damage, even with that snow defense boost, man. Ninetales is so good now, it's crazy. With the, imagine if I had it in Gen 8. I felt like Ninetales Lola was used so much even back then. Of course, you have the Hail did chip damage every turn, so that's one thing to keep into account as well. So they missed their Magma Storm, unfortunately for them. This Garchomp is looking in a pretty decent position. As you'll recall last week, I think if we took out the Lando with a Scale Shot, I think we won. But here we're gonna take out this Heatran, get the +1 speed boost, as Tortellini's gonna come back in on the Earthquake. Bada bing, bada boom. +3 attack. I mean, yeah, this is looking pretty Jover. I don't know what can stop this thing at this point. Although Ivy Cudgel is gonna outspeed. I'm confused. Oh, we must not just have any speed. I guess that's the thing. It's just super bulky Garchomp with no speed. Keep on going for Scale Shot. They keep on living up, but you know they're gonna be stashed. So you only need 2 hits to take this thing out, and there you go. Get 2.5 times speed. This thing is very low. It should be dead to a quick attack from a Pinsir after it megas. So, oh, not even, because we're bulky, that's right. So the Fire Fang will guarantee take this thing out. And now Darkrai is going to come in and go for the EQ and just take it out. So there you go. 6-0. Well, dang, Mega Garchomp. Now I see why they were wanting to use it. So there we go. So that's one more win that we need. Now we can get into the Randbats. So here we are going to see Lead Jirachi versus Sudowoodo. Pretty solid lead for us, not going to lie. Ironhead is going to do absolutely nothing to this defensive monster Petrarunt, as they're going to U-turn out, get a little bit of chip off, but they do have the leftovers to cancel it out. They go for Shadow Ball on the Sableye. We'll see what the Sableye wants to do, what type of tricks this thing wants to pull off. Prankster Dark, though, not going to affect that, but did you get rid of the Choice Band? That's fantastic. Play Rough is going to come off, and it is able to survive without the Choice Band. Keep going for Knockoff, though. The Sableye is getting real low. As there you go for Prankster Recover, though. The Crunch is able to hang on. Probably going to try to go for Play Rough here. No, they just keep on staying. They keep going for Crunch. They do have a Jirachi, but they don't want to switch it in. Seems like a losing game, though. I feel like eventually this Mabastiff is going to beat the Sableye. As just a very slow game of attrition. How many recovers do you have left, dude? 4, and he finally misses a Play Rough. Poor guy. So now you can do something to this thing if they want to, because otherwise, I mean, what are we doing here? So they go for Knockoff. They're trying to chip this Mabastiff as much as they can. They keep on going for recovers. As Sableye finally goes down. They didn't want to switch anything hard in on the Mabastiff. So now Jirachi's in, and they can Ironhead for free. Yeah, that's the thing I've noticed about these Randbats games. They really want to keep their cards as close to the chest as they can. So now they reveal Mamoswine, which is looking very good here. I don't see any Earthquake switch-ins, but they're going to reveal now the Weezing, who is Levitate, so that's good to know for later. Go for Icicle Crash. It's a little risky to me. I don't think well, you get the flinch. It's crazy because I was worried about this thing getting a Will-O-Wisp off. As get him in range. They get 2 flinches in a row. Good grief. That's crazy. They continue to Icicle Crash, and they've landed them all so far. As free rocks here. I would seem they exchange rocks. Are they gonna? Yeah, well, they go for EQ. Yeah, there you go. Because after rocks, this thing should still be in range of Icicle Crash either way. So go for Ice Shard doesn't quite take it out, but the Crunch will. So now this thing is dead to rocks, which is great. You turn out, they're gonna sack it off here. Something else is gonna come in. Arceus Steel. It's crazy. Versus a level 90 Misdreavus. Goes for the Judgment. Doesn't do a whole lot, even with a crit. And there's the burn, but it's a special Arceus, it would seem, so they don't care too much about the burn. They're gonna start setting up some Calm Minds. Goes for the Shadow Ball there. As send out Zaru Dada onto the Judgment. Takes a good chunk. As now the Terra Ghost, interestingly enough, versus a Dark type, goes to the Judgment. It's kind of wild, not gonna lie. There's the Terra Dark and knockoff, so there you go. Huh. I'm not sure what that was for. I don't know, did this thing get up? Oh, they were probably expecting close combat, because I feel like Zarude gets that now. So Honchkrow is going to go for the Brave Bird. Do a pretty good chunk. This is Zarude. This is the opposite of what was happening versus the Sableye. They're continuing to synthesis now as they go for an SD. This Zarude is looking very scary. If you go for the Brave Bird though, as I feel like this Honchkrow is going to die here though. They do go for the Synthesis on the Brave Bird. Keep getting this thing as low as possible. It all comes down to what Pokemon has in the back. They're going to try to Synthesis be as healthy as possible. Oh, by the way, they're playing Cbrinz. They've been a teammate of mine several times. So my old pal Cbrinz, he's probably watching these too. So at this point now, you've got the Bayonet. I don't know what you want to do with that. Go for the knockout. I mean, it's going to get knocked off. As it's Jirachi versus the world here. I don't see a world where this thing wins because it gets outsped and it gets Terra Darked into oblivion. So that's game 1. So not looking too good for us now because we need this win. So Pokevin has to win the next 2. So now Iron Jugulis is in versus the Rayquaza. Glalie going to come in as they go for Hurricane. It's confused, unfortunately, for them. But they do get a little bit of justice with the miss. Goes for the nice spikes. Second miss really sucks, though. As they go for the Freeze Dry, do a very good chunk. They're going to cut their losses here. Send in all creamy on this thing. They continue to go for spikes. Good play. As Tauros is going to come in, the regular one. On the Calm Mind here, from the Alcremie. So I'm assuming we're going to see a Terra Steel. Up there it is. On the Body Slam. No para, thank goodness. They go for a Luring Voice. Okay, there you go. As this thing is weakened, they can bring Pex in on the potential CC. There it is. The Rocky Helmet and Life Orb immediately take it out, which is fantastic for us. I'm surprised they stayed in there. But I want to get that T-Spike up, which makes sense. Because if they don't have any removal, this T-Spike could be absolutely crucial. But it costs them their packs. I'm surprised they didn't want to switch out. Go with the Focus Blast and just raw take it out. Wow, they really needed to hit that. Lokix is going to come in and get poisoned. Goes for the Terra Bug First Impression. That should easily take out this Raichu. They're going to sack it off to it. That's fair. As what do you have for this Lokix? This is a very scary Pokemon. I do have a Keldeo, which is a half decent Pokemon. They go for the Air Slash. Do a decent chunk. But with the Life Orb, this thing is going to be taking a lot of chip. They go for the Air Slash once again. They keep flinching him. I guess this is their win gone. They had to. That's crazy. Pokevin's got a lot of flinches at Cbrinz, I bet they weren't too happy about that. The first impression, I was gonna say this Keldeo is just gonna get first. How are they gonna beat this low kicks? That's my question. They have an Iron Jugulus. They're forced to switch out. They send in Duraludon. They miss a Fire Blast, which sucks. They do land the second one though. Goes with Body Press, is able to tank it. Goes for another Body Press. Go for another Fire Blast. As it's Alcremie versus the world. Oh, they have a Haxorus. Okay. Can that live the first impression? It has to. They have Decidueye in the back. As they go for the Outrage. Triple Arrows is going to crit and do 1,000,000,000%. Although, I mean, this thing is going to... Oh, I know what's going to happen. Well, no, well, now I was thinking maybe if Lokix was forced to first impression, well, they can now. So what are they going to do? So they're going to Alluring Voice and take this thing out, so it's all down to Alcremie to live this first impression, I guess. Which I guess it can. Maybe they want to go for another hit, though. No, they go for first impression. And they go for Recover. Alcremie tanks it. Oh, because it's level 90 versus 82, that's why. So now they go for Knock. Get rid of the lefties. I knew if it was Choice Band, though, that would kill. But it's not Choice Band, obviously. As they go for U-turn. Not too quite enough. There's the Alluring Voice. And Alcremie is just barely able to take it. So, bringing it now to a game 3. I mean, every game from here is absolutely crucial. Because we are hanging on by a thread. So, Kricketune, level 99 versus Lucario, who's immediately going to nasty plot up. Gets up some webs, though, which could be great. Just lives on 1 with a fake Focus Sash. Goes for Pounce, does absolutely nothing. But it does get the speed drop. They have Vacuum Wave either way. As the car is going to take some more chip. Already down to 70%. Excadrill is going to come. They do have a Rapid Spinner to be able to remove this stuff. They're going to try to lock him in Encore, but it fails. As they're going to U-turn out. Into a Teleon. There's the Rapid Spin, so no more webs for Cbrinz. Swampert's going to come in on the Scald. That's crazy, this thing still gets... Scald is such a rarity in this generation to see it. Ogerpon is going to come in on the knockoff. They can't knock this thing off, so it's fine. Zebstrika is going to come in return. Yep, there's the Sap Sipper. This thing has an attack boost, so them having a grass immunity with a Swampert is pretty good for them. They're going to roost up, but I don't know, this Wild Charge is doing too much, but it does force them to take more chip, which is key. This thing is already below half. Farigiraf is going to come in versus the Whimsicott. Goes for a Wish, actually, trying to wish up this Ogerpon. Hitmontop comes in on the Wish. As Ivy Cudgel comes off, gets a crit. As they go for the Rapid Spin, interesting enough to get that speed boost for later. So it should be fast now. I mean, level 88 versus level 78. Something. Goes for CC, does absolutely nothing to this thing. 76. So now this thing has an attack drop. CC has absolutely nothing. 4 levels higher. So this thing is very, has weakened defenses, so they can feel free to go for a Wish here. Send Ogerpon back in once again. They actually go for Roar. So Farigiraf can get its own Wish. They're going to go hard Ogerpon on the knockoff. And try to keep doing damage with this thing. They reveal Synthesis actually on the Ogerpon, so the Ogerpon can heal itself the entire time actually. As they go for the Ivy Cudgel, there's absolutely nothing to this thing, but chip is chip. They're going to go for Taunt so that they can't go for Synthesis. Now Farigiraf's going to get... This is a big game of pivoting and positioning. So they go for Protect on the Taunt. Obviously they don't want him to get a Wish off for free. As they go for Taunt once again, so you can attack this thing. Do a good chunk, look at that, this Whimsicott's getting weakened. It's getting low. So it's getting real low over there, and I'm not sure if they have healing or not. Goes Body Slam on this thing. Inteleon is in. Gonna take a lot from that Aura Sphere though, not gonna lie. 3 levels higher. Into the Vacuum Wave, yep, there you go. This is looking scary. They've still got all 6 Pokemon. It's really gonna come down to this Ogerpon and what it can do. Are you gonna Synthesis here? I'm surprised they didn't, honestly. I guess they wanted to just get rid of that thing. Force them to go for Vacuum Wave. So Zebstrike is in versus the Overcoil. They're going to do a heck of a lot with the Volt Switch. Yeah, it's really going to come down to how they are able to maybe heal up this Ogerpon and win that way. Because how chipped are their Mons? This thing is chipped. They still got these 2 guys relatively healthy. So obviously can't go for Wish. They burn the Terra though. Terra Steel, so now they no longer resist IV Cudgel. That's key. So Body Slam does a heck of a lot to hit him on top. It's send in the Overquill on the Rapid Spin. As now they finally go for Terra Water Aqua Jet they had the whole time. Wow, so Hitmontop goes down. And now they've got this Swampert. They can go for Igoraph on the knock. I'm surprised they went for Igoraph on this thing. Maybe they wanted. Oh, that's why they just wanted one little wish to go off because they're able to outspeed them, and now they can go for what I thought they were going to do, which is this Ogerpon endgame. So they send in Whimsicott, no longer resist. They go for a Synthesis here to tank the hits as well as possible. So now they're at full, which is fantastic. Do you have SD of some sort? They go for a Synthesis to keep this thing full. They might go for Taunt. They keep on spamming it. Finally go for IV Cudgel there. As yeah, level 88, 211 versus 254. Yeah, that thing still outspeeds. So how do they beat the? Oh well, they're getting real low. Maybe they have Spiky Shield. They're actually gonna switch out. Go for the Synthesis hard. I mean, the Ogerpon, it's not weak to it. It's neutral to the Wild Charge. Maybe you can tank it, but they go for the Ice Beam. Doesn't do a whole lot. Keep going for IV Cudgel. Get the crit to take out the Swampert, actually. As Extra Drill comes in now. Goes for another IV Cudgel, takes that thing out raw. Just boom. And now it all comes down to Zebstrika. Can you take it out with a Wild Charge? No, you cannot. There you go. Yep. And it's dead to recoil. So there you go. And that's GG's to Pokevin. So he was just barely able to come out on top versus Cbrinz. Oof. I mean, look at the team that he had. He used freaking Cricketune and Volby. Did not have some of the best Mons here, but nonetheless, he had some decent Mons here, but it was a tough team. He was able to pull it out. So, at this point, we are tied in the week. 4-4. And you guys know what that means. It's all going to come down to Knicknom once again. Who's using, I think this was the, what was like the Yuqi championship team? It looks the same, but I don't know if it's the same or not. But, of course, we got the Articuno Ninetales versus mons like Indeedee. It should be interesting. So, they're going to lead Ninetales and Incineroar versus Urshifu and Ogerpon. This is a pretty scary matchup, but they're able to get the Intimidate off at least. You have the option for Fake Out here to be able to get that Aurora Veil. So there we go. Fluttermane is in. They got the play right on which one to knock off. Of course, yeah, I mean, Fake Out. You're definitely going to want to Fake Out that Urshifu because that thing can hit through Protects and crit through Veil. As they go for Blizzard there. Do a pretty good chunk. Parting Shot's going to come out onto the Flutter. As Raging Bolt is in. Raging Bolt looks good versus Urshifu. Although they do have to be wary of the Follow Me, which is going to cancel off a Thunderclaps. So they go for Electro Web. Get that speed drop on them. As switch back out into Fluttermane on the Spiky Shield. They can just keep on going for Electro Web, I guess. They go for Thunderclap and it fails, though. Parting Shot. They get it right. Well, I mean, of course they're gonna go for Spike Shield on the Ogerpon, so they knew which one to attack. With the Intimidate, so now this Ogerpon's attack is halved. They're gonna go for Ice Sealing, but this Articuno is looking very scary with that Terra Ice. If I'm not mistaken, it should be Choice Specs. With the Aurora Veil and the defense boost, and the fact that this thing's attack is halved, that Ivy Cudgel does nothing. But if they got a crit though, that would have done a lot. So they get the snow back up. They are going to ignore the Veil, but they still have to contend with the Ice boost. As they go for Ivy Cudgel, and that is enough now to take it out. Goes for the Raging Bolt. Switches out in the Lando. Goes for Protect. Did they go for the Thunderclap on the... yeah, because that thing is just going to take it out. But they do reveal Thunderbolt, actually, so it's a crazy set. Thunderclap, Joker, Meteor, Thunderbolt. Okay. No Protect. So... yeah, I mean, having Thunderbolt for Shifu is great to get around that pesky Follow Me, because that's a big problem we had with the Orlando team. We were running Rising Voltage at one point, but we took it off. So, they're going to go for the Follow Me to get around any type of Thunderclap. There we go. As they go for the Nasty Cloud, actually. On the Flare Blitz, there we go. So, it's Raging Bolt and Incineroar versus this one guy. Sandsear Storm is going to miss Incineroar. And people were calling us crazy for using Sandsear Storm in Orlando too. They're going to Parting Shot, but this thing still have 1.5 times per attack. That Sandsear Storm still misses as keeps on Flare Blitzing. As there's the Sandsear Storm to finally connect, and Atrix is up. So this is do or die. Knicknom must be absolutely sweating over there, but Knicknom has been pretty good at these best of threes. Let's see what they can do here. So, Indeedee and Flutter versus Ninetales and Incineroar. They're going to do the same thing. They get this Bedefiant boost from the Psychic Seed. They're going to go for the Terra Fairy, Helping Hand, Dazzling, a Moonblast JK. Just immediately take out Incineroar. That's crazy, bro. So, Veil is up, though. They let him get the Aurora Veil. Articuno is in. They're going to go for the Helping Hand. Missed the Moonblast because the Snow Cloak, and now Ninetales goes for Blizzard, as they also go for Blizzard and take out the Flutter. Which, look at that. So now sends in the Ogerpon, as Ogerpon Wellspring is in, going to go for the Helping Hand there. Ivy Cudgel get the crit. Some justice for the Moonblast miss there for him. So now Ninetales is in. Let's go for the Helping Hand. Ivy Cudgel. Don't get the crit there. That's doing so much damage, though. And this Indeedee's still up, but they get frozen! I was going to say, because this was not looking good. Okay, thankfully, the freeze didn't matter, because they were going to Ivy Cudgel them anyway. Thank goodness. Because I would hate for them to have to feel the weight of having gotten a freeze to in the last game. But they go for the Horn Leech. This Ogerpon is putting in the work. So... although there was some hacks, the Ogerpon was able to make it to where it didn't matter with the Ivy Cudgel, so there we go. So now we're down to Game 3. This is tough. This is a big game here. Let's see what happens here. Lead Ninetales and Incineroar. Once again, what are they going to do? They're going to go Ogerpon and Urshifu. Back to Game 1. So at this point, what are you going to do? They're going to Terrify her because they faked him out the first time on the Urshifu. They're going to do that once again. They're going to go for Ivy Cudgel immediately, so no Aurora Veil. They're like, you know, I'm so tired of this Aurora Veil, I'm going to get rid of it, which is fair. So now Ogerpon is in. The thing is, though, now they are just weak to Ivy Cudgel. They go for Wood Hammer. They're able to hang on. Because of the attack drop from Incineroar, this Ogerpon was at neutral after the Terra. Oh, the Ogerpon's gone now. So now it's all going to come down to Articuno. They do have Freeze Dry for this Urshifu. They still have Incineroar. So, they're going to go for Detect on the Fake Out. So let's see if Articuno hit the goes for Blizzard. I guess the best thing is to go for Blizzard for this pesky Flutter Man. Do some chip damage to it. But look at that. Gets the freeze on this too? Are you serious, bro? Oh, man. I spoke too soon. I'm so sorry. I spoke too soon. They're going to go for the Terra Grass, though, on this guy. Go for the Flare Blitz, does absolutely nothing to this thing. Goes for the Blizzard once again, is able to take both of them out. Oh, that's crazy. Dang. So now Goku is in. As go for the Flare Blitz there. Into the Blizzard. Although, I mean, this Articuno seemed to have been... Well, it's going to be these two versus the world, though, you know. You have to land that Blizzard. As it looks like they do, and they take it out. So, wow, that's going to be... That's going to be GG's. Man, Knicknom was able to pull it out just barely. If I would have been in a better state of mind, maybe I would have been able to play my RU game a bit better, and I wouldn't have been able to... Or I wouldn't have forced poor Knicknom to have to... bring it down to the wire there, but believe it or not, the Spheal Aficionados pulled it out in week 4. So I believe this guaranteed us playoffs, and we are currently 3-1. It's been a lot of close games, especially this week. I mean, the Legion of Larry, they're a very good team. I think they won last time. I remember at least they did very well. But yeah, that's going to be GG's. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.